Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video. And today I wanted to do something really cool, given the news yesterday that Alex Smith, former Chiefs quarterback, has now retired following winning NFL Comeback Player of the Year this past season. Awesome career, great comeback story, and now he'll be riding off into the sunset. But today I wanted to celebrate Alex Smith's time as a Chief by counting down his 5 best games as the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. So my number 5 for top 5 Alex Smith games as a Chief, I've got the Chiefs 21-13 win over the at the time, Oakland Raiders on December 8th, 2016. So this game was the game that the Chiefs essentially ended Derek Carr's MVP campaign back in 2016. Yeah, already that long ago. Remember, Derek Carr was an MVP candidate? Jeez. But so the reason this game I have at number 5 is because Alex Smith had a very solid game. He ended up throwing for about over 200 yards, about 260 yards. Really nice game. He also had a touchdown pass, 17 for 26. Really good game. But the even better thing about this game and why it is my number 5 is the previous game that year was a Chiefs win over the Raiders, 26-10, but that was in Oakland. Well, after this game, Jack Del Rio, the Raiders head coach, said that Smith is a textbook game manager who rarely turns the ball over and lets those around him, like running backs, do the offense's heavy lifting, basically saying that Alex Smith can't throw the ball very well, just kind of taking a shot at him almost. And I say almost, no, he took a shot at him, and Alex Smith was pissed about this. So that next game, Smith went out there and showed that he is more than a game manager. But to be honest, I would still call him a game manager, honestly. But that's not even an insult, really. I think most quarterbacks that go to the NFL would kill to have a career like Alex Smith's and be a game manager. It's not really the insult that people make it out to be. But Smith definitely did show up Del Rio in that game by taking down the Raiders pretty handily. So that's my number 5 and top 5 Alex Smith games as a Chief. All right, so at number 4, I got the last game versus the San Diego Chargers. And what I mean by that is like the last game that the Chargers were in San Diego, last game at Qualcomm, week 17 of the 2016 NFL season. The Chiefs defeated the Chargers 37-27. A play you might remember from that game was Tyreek Hill ended up having a kick return touchdown. It was the one where he stiff-armed, or it was a punt return actually, but he stiff-armed Steven Nelson on his way to the end zone. That's how a lot of people remember that game. But this was the last game in San Diego, and Alex Smith talked about after the game that it meant a lot to him to win that game, and because he's from San Diego actually, and it meant a lot to him that he won the last NFL game there because, look, the last game won there was by Alex Smith, and that's where he's from, so it just meant a lot to him. So that's why I have that game at my number 4 for top 5 games of Alex Smith's Chiefs career. All right, now for my number 3, I've got the Chiefs defeating the Patriots on opening night of the NFL season back in 2017. The Chiefs won 42-27, a complete beatdown. Alex Smith's one of his best performances as the Chiefs quarterback, 368 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. He was 28 of 35. And, it's a shame that this season didn't end the way we wanted it to. The Chiefs ended up tapering off towards the end of the year, but what really made me upset was the fact that the Chiefs beat the Patriots and the Eagles that year, both the teams that ended up making it to the Super Bowl, yet the Chiefs didn't, despite the fact that they beat both teams that were in the game. That was really frustrating. However, there's no denying that this is one of the most fun and most memorable games of the Alex Smith era. It was just so fun. It was nice to see the Patriots get beat down. One of the big reasons, though, the Chiefs struggled later on that year was injuries. I remember this game, Eric Berry got hurt in the first game, really hurt the Chiefs from there on. The defense wasn't the same. But this for sure was one of the most fun games of Alex Smith's career here. So that is my number 3. All right, my number 2, I've got the Chiefs versus Broncos game, November 27th, 2016. Most of you know it as the Doink game, Cairo Santos game-winning field goal in overtime that hit the goalpost and then in. One of the most fun games and one of my personal favorite games since I've been a Chiefs fan. That game was insane. I remember staying up really late on a school night. But the reason this game was so crazy was because Philip Gaines, who was one of the worst cornerbacks I've ever seen play football, essentially put the Chiefs in this hole that was almost too big to come out of, but Alex Smith somehow still found a way to win this game. And the thing with Smith is he always found a way to come up clutch one way or another. It just seemed there were so many times when Alex Smith was the quarterback, when the Chiefs won games, they just really had no business winning. And this was definitely one of those. But Philip Gaines ended up getting the Chiefs into a hole after his controller died mid-play, and he gave up a touchdown. And, I remember that last drive of the game where Alex Smith had a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill, and he gained possession as he was crossing the goal line, and the refs and the broadcast crew was freaking out because they're like, oh, they don't know if he got in. This game's going to end. There's no more time on the clock. Is it a touchdown? Is it not? And then the refs blew the whistle. They looked at it, and Tyreek caught the ball, but he didn't have possession of it until he fell over the goal line, meaning the Chiefs got a touchdown, and they also had to get a 2-point conversion. They ended up converting and tying the game, taking it to overtime, and then Smith helped the Chiefs drive down the field in overtime after the Broncos missed a 60-yard field goal, and we all know what happened after that. There was the doink, the Chiefs win the game, and man, that was one of the most fun games ever, one of my favorite games, and again, one of the best games of the Alex Smith era. I'll always remember him for that one because that was a game the Chiefs had no business winning, and that comeback was just amazing. Alex Smith did great. He ended up passing for 220 yards and a touchdown. Not super efficient, but it didn't matter in the end. What mattered was that he won the game for us, and he's just a smart player. Didn't turn it over, and did what he needed to do to get us to win the game. So thank you, Alex. All right, and for my number 1, a lot of you probably already know what it is. I've got the Chiefs overtime comeback versus the Chargers from 2016, where Alex Smith passed for 363 yards and 2 touchdowns and ended up having the game-winning touchdown in overtime, punching it in at the goal line. It was the biggest season comeback in Chiefs history. They scored 24 unanswered points to win the game, 17 unanswered in the last 10 minutes of regulation. And this was a game at the beginning of the year, week 1, like I said, that, I remember turning it on, and I was like, oh, man, is this going to be another long year where we suck? And then we ended up coming back and winning, and we all know 2016 was a very solid season for the Kansas City Chiefs, but Alex Smith had an incredible game, and that was probably his best game as a Chief. When you look at the way they won it, he probably had his best performance against the Patriots in that opening night win. But when you talk about needing to overcome adversity and just being a leader, this was probably Alex Smith's best game as a Chief. And that iconic picture of him screaming after the game, that's one that you see a lot. And this was just a fantastic game. And that's pretty much all there is to say about it. But one thing's for sure, the Alex Smith era was full of very exciting games. It's a shame we can never get over the hump with him. And if you were to make a short list of players that deserve a ring, that left the team too soon before they could get one, Alex Smith is definitely one of those. I know a lot of people have thrown out the idea of Alex Smith maybe becoming a coach one day. I would love to see it. Andy Reid said he would love to see it, that he would get first dibs on him. And I actually just currently got finished writing an article about the possibility of Alex Smith becoming part of the Andy Reid coaching tree one day for arrowheadaddict.com. So look out for that. Make sure you subscribe there so you can catch some more of my Chiefs content. But that's all I got for today, guys. Let me know if you agree with my list. What are some of your guys' favorite Alex Smith memories and whatnot? So, make sure you like, share, subscribe so other Chiefs fans can find this. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers would be awesome. And make sure you check me out on showmefootball.com and Arrowhead Addict. That's all I got for today, guys. Peace.